This is Extra Paycheck Podcast, episode number 47.
You're listening to Extra Paycheck Podcast, where you will learn how to build and grow your own successful online business. Now, here's your host, Alex Soul.
Welcome to yet another episode of Extra Paycheck Podcast. This is episode number 47, and this week's special guest is Jessica Burgess. She's an entrepreneur and she runs a lifestyle blog at Fantabulosity.com. Enjoy today's episode. Hi, Jessica, and welcome to the Extra Paycheck Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Jessica, please tell us a little bit more about yourself, your background, and what is it you do as a business at this very moment?
Well, my name is Jessica Burgess. I'm actually located in Missouri, in the United States in Missouri. So I was born and raised here, and I actually, I grew up always wanting to be a dental hygienist. So I went through school and pursued some college for that, and then I ended up marrying my high school sweetheart, and he said one day, you know what, I really need you to help me with my business. Would you be interested in coming in? And there was something about that I just found very exciting, being an entrepreneur, just going down that path of life. And from then on, I realized I wanted to act upon doing my own thing. However, it took a little while to get there. I worked for my husband's company for years as a CFO. And when I had kiddos, I started staying at home with them, and it was time. It was time to launch my own business. So I started very simple. I had heard of blogging, and I thought, I can do that. I see all these women out there talking about fun, creative things, and they're turning them into blogs. And one day I thought, wait a minute, they're making money doing that? Oh, my goodness. So I looked into that more, and my blog Fantabulosity was born, which is a lifestyle blog featuring anything from party styling ideas, recipes, fashion tips, baking, anything that I think followers would really appreciate. And Fantabulosity has actually turned into a successful business, and it's a passion too. So it is definitely a dream come true. There are bad days, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely a dream come true.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, first of all, I wanted to say that I love the branding and I love how the website looks. This is really the way I want to see the websites online. Right. It's simple, it's beautiful, it's easy to navigate. Everything that I want to know about the website is right there in front of me. And I think this is one of the big factors actually of making a successful website. I mean, there's so much that goes into making a successful website, but from the get-go, if I see a website that's confusing me and I'm not sure what's going on there, chances are I'm going to close the tab and never come back to that website.
Absolutely. That's definitely a blogger's nightmare. You want to keep them around as long as you can, and keeping it clean and simple so it's not confusing, so it doesn't stress them out. Because usually when people visit a blog, they are relaxing. They're looking for entertainment, and you want them to feel comfortable. You want them to hang around, and so you don't want them to feel confused and stressed out trying to find something. So that is key. That is for sure.
And Jessica, you started your blog. Is this like your first blog? This is where you started your online venture with Fantabulosity?
Actually, no. So when I first started, since I'm really into party planning and party styling, I launched a blog dedicated to party styling. And I hate to say that I got burnt out, because that's not really what happened, but it sounds like it. However, what happened was I was enjoying doing other things and sharing other things besides party planning that my followers were loving. And I decided, and before it gets too advanced, I need to go ahead, stop, rebrand, rethink this thing. I had heard somebody refer to a lifestyle blog, and I thought, that's perfect. That's exactly what route I need to go down, so I can continue talking about my party styling, but I can also talk about other things as well. And, honestly, after all the conferences I've been to, all the podcasts I've listened to, when I hear a lot of people say, you got to find that niche, you got to find that topic that you want to blog about and stick with it. But I don't know. I kind of differ with that to a degree. I think it's important to talk about things you're passionate about so you don't get bored, but you do want to kind of stay on the same path so people don't get confused, I guess. So no, Fantabulosity was born. It was my second, but really I didn't really start getting serious about blogging until Fantabulosity was born.
That's interesting because while you were talking about not necessarily niching down, I was going to ask you the same very question. Why did you decide to not? And, to be honest with you, I always tell beginners, always, without exception, I always tell them, niche it down until it hurts.
Yeah.
Like really go into a very specific niche, the smaller the better. I mean, green office chairs on 3 legs and 2 wheels, it's not a good niche because there's probably like 4 people in the world that want it.
Yeah.
But still, I tell people to niche it down as much as they possibly can. And it's funny that I say that because for the Extra Paycheck blog, I don't do that. It's quite the opposite. It's more of something what you do, right? Mm-hmm. So I go into online marketing and business in general and entrepreneurship. So I give a lot of advice on sometimes it's technical, how to set up a page properly, then how to do SEO properly, then how to craft your content, how to make pictures, like so many different subjects, but they're all in the same industry, right, of online business. Mm-hmm. And for anyone and everyone listening to this blog, this could be an idea, but I know it from experience that it's a lot harder to do what I'm doing, and I guess what you're doing as well. The big difference is that we're not building niche websites, we're building like authority resources
right.
in a specific industry. But that's the thing, it's a lot harder to do, and I think, and as far as I've seen, it takes a lot longer to build it as well into what you want it to be, as opposed to a smaller, more precise, more specific niche website.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I work with a few new bloggers, and they say, well, what should I blog about? And I struggle with, if you want to do a blog on vacuum reviews, you'll probably get a lot of hits, according to Google SEO, if you do it right. I said, But in a year, are you going to be so sick and tired of writing about vacuum reviews? And then, so it is, there's that fine line of what are you passionate about? And what really, do you want to make it something you're passionate about and a business, or do you want to make it something that's strictly there to draw an income? And, in a way, you're right. My blog is a lifestyle blog, but it is narrowed down to a certain few topics. So in a way, I am kind of niched down to where it should be. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll give you even a worse one. One of my first websites was, I wanted to do a niche review site about office shredders. Mm-hmm. Just because the commissions were good on the sales of the shredders.
Yeah.
But after a few months of working on it, I quit. I just stopped myself and I was like, screw that. I'm willing to lose the time that I've put into it, but I'm not. It's not that I'm not passionate about shredders. I just don't care about them at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say a lot of feedback I get from my readers and followers is they can tell I'm passionate about it, and that's what makes them appreciate that. They don't feel it's anything I post is fake or anything like that. So I really do feel that being passionate about something can make you very successful.
Yeah, totally. And I'm starting yet another niche website soon. And pretty much all of the ones that I'm starting recently or that I've been running for a while, it's always either about a passion or at least a pretty big hobby of mine.
Yeah.
Because what I learned from that shredder website is that this entrepreneurship that you're supposed to, in my opinion, enjoy what you're doing and love what you're doing and not think of it as a job, right?
Right.
That shredder website did feel like a job, and a pretty horrible one at that, because I had to force myself to write each and every single article.
Yeah.
And when I write about stuff that do interest me, or that's a hobby or a passion, even better, then it doesn't. I mean, it's not always that beautiful as people see from the outside. Sometimes we get our writer blocks and we don't know what to write and what next subject should be and what should be covered in this week or this month discussion or post, whatever it is. But most of the time, it's so much easier. Even content production is so much easier when you enjoy what you're doing.
Exactly.
Huge. It's a game changer for me.
Yeah, me too. I completely agree.
All right, Jessica. So you started Fantabulosity. This is where you started being serious about your website, as you said. And how did you start getting people coming to your website? Because you could have world's best, most amazing content, but if people aren't reading it, it's kind of useless. Yeah. So you started getting people to your blog. How did you do that?
Well, so this is one of my favorite things to talk about. It's all about networking. My husband has always said, in business, it's networking. It's getting out there and talking. And as you probably know, a lot of bloggers are very introverted. So that's very intimidating. However, behind a computer, being an introvert, it's a lot easier to network. And that's what blogging is anyway. It's all computer-based. So when I mean networking, I don't mean necessarily going to your Chamber of Commerce meetings and standing on stage and talking about your blog. I mean getting involved in Facebook groups. I mean leaving comments on other blogs, bigger blogs that you admire that are in the same topic class that you are. And when you start getting out there and putting your name out there, not just once, but going back a second time, you start to be recognized. And I think that is a huge part of it. And something that I feel really made Fantabulosity more successful early on was being a contributor on bigger blogs. And a lot of times starting out when you don't have a lot of followers or your pictures aren't as good as you'd like them to be, or your content isn't as good as you want it to be, a lot of times when you contribute on other blogs, it may be a non-paying job. But what I have found is that when you are a contributor on those bigger blogs, a lot of times they will add you to their Pinterest boards, their group boards. They will throw your name out there on social media every once in a while. And before you know it, you start gaining traction that way. And it could be very slow, but you're building credibility. And you never know, at one point when it comes to making money, I had someone I contributed for early on that it was for free. I spent a lot of time creating a blog post for them. But 2 months later, they said, Jessica, I don't have time to do this post for such and such company. They're going to pay such and such money. Would you be interested in that? I don't have time to do it. Yeah. You mean I could make money doing what I'm doing already? Absolutely. So there are just so many opportunities out there with networking with other bloggers and people in Facebook groups, bouncing ideas off of each other, asking if you're part of a sharing group, sharing this. And you never know. You never know when something could go viral. You never know when you could get an extra follower just by somebody sharing something that of yours just out of the goodness of their heart. So I would say networking as a whole is a good way to gain some followers. Of course, you could always pay for advertising and create ads and things like that, but a good no cost way is definitely networking early on.
Yeah, totally. Great advice. I love it. And that's something that I've been talking more and more about lately because, once again, personal experience. Mm-hmm. And as you mentioned, a lot of us bloggers, it's not that we're not social or that we're antisocial, actually. It's just that the whole online gig kind of doesn't require you to communicate with anyone. You just do your little thing and you don't really care, and you have your friends, so you socialize with people outside of your work, right? And that's what I've been doing for years. And eventually I started, as you mentioned, not really networking, but contributing to other blogs, simply commenting on their content and maybe adding some value or asking questions or, just adding to the conversation, let's call it that. And I've noticed things shifting. I started getting more shares. I started getting more people to my blog. And this is, once again, to everyone listening to this show, it's not just about how should I put it properly? When you write a comment on someone's blog and it's a really good comment, first of all, you might be grabbing the attention of that authority that you're following, of that person who you're commenting on, because you love them so much, because this is the first reason you're commenting on their content, because you like their content. Second of all, other readers of that blog, once again, your comment has to be good. They will notice that comment, and they will click on your little name and see who's that person, because I love their comment, and they seem to be to know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
What do they do? So they come to your blog. And what I've noticed, even more important thing, that if you keep doing that, then when you reach out to that person, to that blog owner who might have like millions of visitors, right? You reach out to them by email, by usually replying to one of their emails. They already know who you are. They've never contacted you. They've maybe even never ever been to your blog, but they know exactly who you are because you've been commenting and creating this whole conversation on their website. And chances are they will reply to you whatever you're asking them. I'm not saying that they're going to promote your book or link out to you, but they will read your email at least. And if you interest them in whatever you're asking, chances are they will reply, and they'll take their time to help you out somehow because they appreciate what you've been doing to them. And this is crucial, and it's easy to do. As you said, you don't have to go physically to a meetup meeting or somewhere locally. You just do it online, and it's so easy to reach out to them and to do that. It's super helpful for any online business, not just blogs.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I've seen it work in many other businesses online, for sure. Absolutely.
And Jessica, what about your content? Were you creating all the content for your blog, or were you outsourcing? And maybe, by outsourcing, I mean having people contribute to your blog by writing articles.
Starting out, I was the only one writing content for the blog. But what I noticed was, I actually stepped back and thought about it for a minute. I thought, why are bigger bloggers asking for contributors? And you really need to think about that. Is it because they don't have time, or what is that? And why should I consider that? I struggled with, do I want someone else writing on my blog? I spend so much time building a reputation. Do I want somebody else's voice on the blog? So what is the benefit? What are the pros and cons? And I stepped back and looked at it, and I thought, you know what? I like to mix it up a little bit. Keep it interesting. But also, when you have contributors on your blog, you have those contributors also promoting your blog. Say Sally over here creates a blog post for Fantabulosity. And that day, she goes on her social media and tells all her friends, hey, go over to Fantabulosity. I'm over there sharing such and such today. Well, she's just opened up my blog to a whole new audience. She's doing that because she wants to make sure Fantabulosity sees that she has a good following and she's proud of her work. But at the same time, she's introducing a lot of her followers to Fantabulosity. So it's a win-win, really. It also comes in handy to have a contributor because sometimes during the year, I will kind of cut back on my writing. And the reason I do that is because I'm focusing on product launch or just cleaning up, taking that time to really focus in on new website design or just focusing on those items to make myself and the brand better. And it's nice to have those contributors to fill in for you to keep your content fresh and to keep things current. I do have a small team right now. It's I would say 4 to 5 contributors. It's very lax. It's very, if you feel like you want to this month, go for it. If not, no big deal. I know things in life happen. So I enjoy having the contributors on the blog. I think it adds fresh new content. It gives me a little break to focus on the other things. So I will continue doing that. I'm actually a contributor for other bloggers as well, just to go back to that networking thing I was talking about. Amazing, amazing opportunities have come to me just by being a contributor on bigger blogs. So I think contributing and having other people post content on your site can be very helpful.
Yeah, great idea. And this is why I think, despite of all the buzz that's been going around in 2015, guest blogging is not dead at all. It's quite the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you guest post on someone's blog, and it has to be quality blog, and you have to be writing a quality content, and vice versa, if someone guest blogs on your blog, that's such a huge opportunity for cross promotion and for exposing yourself to other audience that you never probably could have exposed before for different reasons. And yeah, great advice. Thank you for sharing that. And I think this is super important and could be very, very helpful.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, Jessica, now let's move on a little bit. I wanted to ask you about social media a little bit, because I was looking at your Pinterest account and you have over 8,000 followers at the moment. And well, I think a lot of listeners have an idea what Pinterest is. Some people might not know what it is. But tell me, how are you using Pinterest for your marketing, I guess? Well, for building your brand more than marketing. And how did you get to the point of having over 8,000 followers?
I'm so excited you asked. I'm very passionate about Pinterest. And the reason is because Pinterest, when it first came out, it was an online magazine of endless amounts of crafty ideas and recipes. And it was an amazing, amazing invention in my eyes. So when it came out, I started obsessing over it. I started finding the next best thing I wanted to make or create. And when I started blogging, I realized how much Pinterest could be used as a tool for blogging. And Pinterest, if you're not familiar with Pinterest, I really don't know what to call it besides an online magazine of things you're interested in. You can follow people that you like, that you can follow people that share in the same passion and interests that you do. So it makes things that you are interested in right at your fingertips. It's very addicting for me, honestly. And when I started blogging, like I said, I realized how it could be used as a major tool in blogging, because what it does is you see a picture of something that you like, and you can easily click on that picture and get instant gratification. You can see, oh, that craft is amazing. Click on it. Go to the website. That's how you make it. It's that instant gratification that we as millennials love to have. And it's just an amazing tool. So what I thought about in the blogging world, that Pinterest is something I really need to focus on. But because it's focused around so much of what I enjoy doing anyway. And as with Facebook, Facebook over the years, it's a love-hate relationship for me. I love it and I hate it. When they got to the point where they started picking and choosing what people saw, that was when I decided maybe I need to focus my attention on Pinterest. Because at that time, Pinterest only showed you literally what was posted recently. Now Pinterest has gotten to where they kind of pick and choose what you see it. But Pinterest is still responsible for about 50% of my daily traffic. And it's about 85% responsible for unique and new views on my blog daily. So Pinterest is huge in my world. So what I did about 6 months ago, I stepped back and I thought, Pinterest has that much of an effect on my daily page views. I need to start focusing my time and energy on Pinterest. Why not capitalize on something that you know is already working and make it better, rather than spending so much time focusing on other social media that I really can't control. I could sit and create and pay for ads to show up on Facebook more, but is that really the target audience that I want necessarily? And so I changed my whole dynamic in thinking and started really focusing on Pinterest. And since that moment, I have doubled my Pinterest following. I would say, I said 6 months a while ago, but I don't even know if it's been that long, to be completely honest with you. I'm on an average, I get a report every week. I am gaining about 275 new followers a week. And over time, that adds up. And I stepped back and I thought, how am I doing that? I made a few simple changes, but really ultimately I put all my focus on Pinterest. So I fully believe there may be somebody listening to this that receives most of their traffic from Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. There are so many people I know that have so many followers on Instagram. And the beautiful thing about Instagram is they don't pick and choose what you see. It's all in order of when it was posted. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I honestly recommend capitalizing on what's already working. Step back and look, what is driving the most traffic to your site? Which referral, which social media, and act on it. Make what's already working better. So really, I have just made a few changes to the way I operate my Pinterest and added a few little tools, and it has paid off amazing. So I'm writing a book. This is not a plug, I promise, but it is. I'm writing a book on how I grew my Pinterest following so fast in such a short amount of time. It's going to be a free ebook, and that I plan to have completed at the end of January of this year. And I'm hoping so badly that it helps others, because really, I truly am passionate about helping others, because I have found so much. I found so much help from other business owners and bloggers out there just by offering their free advice. And it's one of those things that, why keep a good thing to yourself? Why not share in the love? It's not going to hurt me. It's not going to do anything. So it's a short ebook with just the little golden nuggets, I like to say, of the little things that I did to change that made me see such improvement and such growth in such a short amount of time. So once that is available for download, I'll be shouting it from the rooftops for sure.
Awesome. And I'll be sharing it in the show notes page, because probably it will be released by the time I release this episode.
Oh, great.
So for everyone listening to this very podcast, at the end of this episode, I'll be telling you the link where I'll be posting show notes for this very episode. And this is where I'll put a link to Jessica's book, because as I just mentioned, it'll probably be released once this episode is out. So pay attention and make sure to grab your copy. The link will be provided to you.
Thank you. Yeah.
And Jessica, thank you for sharing all of that. And I think totally agree with you on social media and finding the right channel, because there's so many different platforms. And honestly, I prefer Pinterest for some things, but I would rather use Instagram for other things. And both of them are about pictures, right?
Yeah.
Mostly. But that's the thing, not really. They're both about visuals, but they're totally different platforms. Yeah. The way you post stuff and the way people communicate with you are also super, super different.
Oh, yeah.
And I've tried to build an account on Pinterest and Instagram, and it's basically about motorcycles. And I got to, I think, almost 9,000 followers on Instagram, but not on Pinterest. And I started looking into that, and that's something that has been obvious and out there all this time, but I never really paid attention, is that Pinterest, at least when it was started, it was really more targeted to women than men.
Yes.
And now there's, of course, a lot of men as well as members, but I think there's still more than half of the audience on Pinterest. There are women still. There's still more women than men on Pinterest, which means that when you create your Pinterest account, I think if you're doing something that's more targeted to women, it will be not a lot. That's really a wrong word that I said here. It will be a little bit easier to grow a following if your product or your service or your account is catered more to women than men. But that's something that you have to decide on, as you said. For some businesses, Twitter would be the waste of time, but for some, it could be like a business saver for them.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Facebook, what I've been noticing lately, Facebook, we've had this problem with Facebook for the past few years, where if you have a fan page and you put an update, I think it's only up to 5% of your fans will actually see that update.
Yeah.
That's like so little. 5% of people that want to see what you're doing, only 5% will actually see it, unless, of course, you pay for ads and advertise those posts. Now, I think they started doing it for personal accounts, which is kind of crazy for me. And listen to this. I understand that Facebook does not want to populate your how do they call it? Your feed, right?
Yes.
They don't want to put every single update from every single Facebook friend that you have on the feed because it'll just be chaotic.
Yeah.
But I have a really good friend that I speak to very often through Facebook chat. It's just our tool of communication.
Mm-hmm.
And like we chat almost daily. Now, I was telling him about something just a few days ago, and I told him, Paul, just go on my wall. I posted the link to this YouTube video. And he tells me, you know what? The last thing I see from your Facebook, on your Facebook wall is like from December. And we're in January, like, 2-3 weeks in January. And I'm telling him, this is so weird. I posted like 20 things since then.
Yeah.
And then I start reading upon it, and I figure out that Facebook, for some reason, they've decided that Paul is not a really good friend of mine, and he shouldn't be seeing the stuff on my Facebook.
Oh.
So not even on his feed, but if he goes directly to my wall, he does not see my posts. And my posts are set, I think, to friends. So all my friends could see everything that I post. Yet he doesn't see my posts because Facebook decided that it's not worth it for him to see those posts.
Wow.
How crazy is that?
That is very crazy. That is I'm going to have to test it now.
Yeah, you should. So if your friends are telling you that they did not see your latest update even on your wall, don't be surprised.
Don't befriend them.
yeah. It's because Facebook is hiding it from your friends for whatever reason.
Wow. That is very interesting and very good to know.
Yeah, so we got a little off topic here. So let's get back to your blog. And this is a question that will intrigue everyone listening. And, that's the essential existence of Extra Paycheck podcast and blog. How are you making money from your blog?
Okay, so I would say there are a few different ways, and you're asking how I do. So I'll stick with that. There are many, 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 many different ways that somebody can make money with a blog. But the ways I make money with my blog, starting out, it was hard to make money with a blog. It takes time to build that credibility. But one of the first things what I did was started with Google AdSense. Google AdSense is very forgiving of new bloggers and new sites. And with hardly any monthly page views, they grant you access with being able to put ads on your site. So I started out by the ads, and over time, as the blog grew, you get more monthly page views. It starts opening up doors for ad networks and other companies that will pay more for ads on your site. And that's one way that I draw an income. Another way is sponsored post. So that means a brand will approach you with an idea to use their product. You accept, decline, whatever. Say, yes, I will do a blog post featuring your product for such and such money. You create a blog post, you take all the pictures they want, you put in the content, your opinion, it's your writing, and you get paid when it's done if you follow all the rules per se. And I also release products, I guess I should say, from time to time. I don't have a current online store or anything like that. But from time to time, I will make something, and lo and behold, somehow people follow, they love the idea of it, or they want it, and they'll say, can you make me one? And I'll buy it from you. And so every now and then I'm making t-shirts in my basement, and I am making something and selling it. So creating a product is another way that I make money with the blog. There are also other kind of ways to make money on the blog as far as ads. So there are in text, in content, the text links and ads and things like that, where you can click on. You may see, if you're reading a blog or a site, you see a word in there that's just a little bit of different color, has a line underneath it. If you hover over it, you may see that it opens up to an ad. That's a way you can do it. I currently don't have that on my blog now. I actually found that it was more of a nuisance to me. I was getting too many emails from followers saying, I clicked on that link that I thought was going to take me to that recipe, but it took me to some auto site. So I spent a lot of time saying, oh, I'm sorry. That was me trying to make 5 cents, so it wasn't worth it. So I actually discontinued that. But when you're starting out, honestly, I I would start out using those again. If I had to start over tomorrow, I'd start out because it takes every little bit, to build up. And then affiliate links, I use those not very much, but from time to time. Affiliate links, in case you're listening and you're not sure what affiliate links are, this is my description. This is not the proper description, but our definition. But it is, say I go to a department store and I find a cake stand that I love, and I do a blog post on how awesome this cake stand is. I will try to work with that company through a program or another website that is an affiliate manager. And I'll say, okay, I want to work with that department store. I want to be an affiliate of that department store. If I'm approved, I will have a special link created that I can use, and I can put that on my site. And if my followers click on that link and buy that cake stand because they want it to, I could make a small percentage from that. And I say small percentage because it usually is, but small percentages add up over time, that's for sure. So I think those are just the sponsored posts, the ads on the site, the affiliate, and occasionally selling products. Those are typically the ways I currently make money with my blog.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing that, Jessica. And I love the fact that you're diversifying your income and ways of making that income from your blog. I think this is super important as well, to not put all your eggs in one basket. Mm-hmm. And try to do different things and see what works better for you and what doesn't.
Yeah, for sure. And the beautiful thing about it is there are so many ways that you can make money blogging. And it's not necessarily limited to things that you make money with on your blog. But the fact that you have a blog can open up doors for other ways you can make money. Writing books, selling the books. I was on TV last 2 months ago because of the blog. I didn't make money on the blog for being on TV, but because of the blog and being online and being out there for people to see was the green light, and that made me available for other experiences, for other opportunities and other opportunities to make money, I should say.
Yeah, totally. This is really awesome. That gives you a lot of exposure, and I'm sure you've gained some followers from that, which in the long run is a really good thing and kind of the goal of your blog, right? To have that follower.
Oh, absolutely. And it's funny because I'll never forget. I was talking to my IT manager the night before I went on TV, before the first show, and I said, "Hey, heads up! I'm going to be on TV tomorrow. Better make sure my site is ready to handle this traffic load." And it was so funny because I did not even see an increase, hardly. I mean, I had a few new followers here and there, but I tell you what it did. It gave Fantabulosity the credibility more than anything. And that was priceless to me. The amount of people that saw it, that knew I was legit now. I don't know what it is, but I saw you on TV, so it must be the real deal. It's It gives you a credibility that is absolutely priceless, and it opened up a lot of doors. So although I didn't receive a ton of new followers from that or a ton of page views that day, it did give that credibility that knocked me up to the next level to open up a lot of doors to add to future potential page views and such.
Yeah, totally. And this is great. And going back to affiliate marketing, because this is one of my favorite venues of monetizing online. And that's actually how I started online with affiliate marketing. Oh. And I wanted to mention to the listeners, to add to what Jessica said, a lot of department stores even, such as, if you look at Walmart and Best Buy, these huge companies, most of them do have an affiliate program. So you don't even have to try to figure out how it works and how to get them involved. Chances are they already have an affiliate program if they have an online store. So even if it's a big department store and they have an online shop where you could buy stuff, just look at the very bottom of the website. Usually they would have a link called affiliate or partners or associates or something of that sort. Amazon has one, eBay has one. A lot of websites have affiliate programs. And as Jessica explained, that's the beauty of affiliate marketing. You basically talk about a product that you've used yourself and you've liked a lot. And instead of just talking about it and kind of endorsing it, be like, well, go buy this tripod. It helped me make great videos. You could actually link to the tripod and have people buy it from that specific store, giving you a commission on, per sale. But besides that, you're actually helping your readers, in my opinion, because they don't have to go through a whole bunch of websites and start looking for this product to buy it, because they liked your recommendation. They want to buy it as well. This way, they just click on the link, they click buy button, boom, done. Everyone's happy.
Yeah, exactly. The convenience is so important, I think, to a lot of people. It is for me. Even though I know it's an affiliate link and I know this person is probably going to make money off of me clicking on that link and buying something that they recommended, I think that's great. I want to click on that so I can repay them and thank them for doing the hard work for me, for searching for it.
Yeah. 100%. I do that so often. When someone that I follow online, let's say, recommends something to me, I sometimes go out of my way to actually find their affiliate link to make sure that they get paid for that, because I think it's valuable. They have helped me do something, achieve something, make a decision on something, right?
Yeah.
So I think they deserve the very least of my appreciation, which could be, just a few cents per sale, but at least they'll get something and I'll be happy about it.
Yeah, for sure.
And Jessica, I'll give you a little tip here. Well, it's not a tip. It's really, once again, an experience. When I started disclosing my affiliate links in a really open way, as in saying, oh, here's a link to buy this product, and this is an affiliate link, meaning that I will make money if you buy it, although at no extra cost to you. However, if you think that I don't deserve, I don't put it that way anymore, because it's like passive aggressive. I write something like, if you are not comfortable with this concept in any way, just go to Amazon and search for this product.
Yeah.
You can buy it without going through my affiliate link, no problems, And when I started doing that, I've seen an increase in my commissions. And I think it's, like you said, building an authority. Mm-hmm. This is something similar. When people feel that you're transparent and really open and honest about it, chances are they will click more on your affiliate links than actually try to, avoid clicking on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Being upfront and honest, because people don't like shady. People don't like sneaky. So, whereas you would think, well, if I put on there that I'm making money, they're not going to want to click on it, but that's not true at all. It is not true at all. And honestly, if they do feel that way, they probably don't want to buy it anyway.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. All right, Jessica, one of the last questions for you. You already shared a really, really great advice and a very important tip of networking, whatever you're doing, online or offline, importance of networking. Now, I'd like you to share another important tip, maybe the most important advice for beginner entrepreneurs, beginner bloggers, beginner business people, in your opinion. What would be that most important tip or advice?
Be true to yourself. There's no hesitation there. I can't tell you how many times I receive emails and comments, messages, whatever, of people encouraging me because they will say, you're just real, and I want to support that. The people find value in that. They find peace in that. And the reason I say be true to yourself is because of that. But not only because you're trying to build a following and a name for yourself, but because it means a lot to you. I honestly can't wait to get up in the morning to blog, to do what I do, because I'm true to myself. It's not something I dread doing. It's not something that I'm not passionate about. Passion is my word for 2016, if you can't tell. But, being true to yourself, doing blogging, doing the kind of work, selling the things you want to sell, no matter what business you're in, being true to yourself is not only good for your mental health, I think, and I'm not a psychiatrist, but it works for me. It's good for everybody around you too. If you fully believe in something, you end up talking about it more because you're excited about it. You can't wait to tell your best friend about it. You can't wait to tell the stranger you met on the street. And I see so much growth and potential when you're proud of what you're doing and not for 1 second doubt it. I will say in the beginning, I was embarrassed to say what I did because in the small town that I live in, if I would say I would say I'm a blogger. I would have people look at me like, what does that mean? Do you sit at home and buy stuff online and talk about it? So I was a little embarrassed early on, but I found the moment I was true to myself. I was proud of what I was doing. The persona I was putting off of talking about my business, that all of a sudden made everybody around me proud of me too, and very encouraging. And without that, if I would have hidden my little shell and not had the confidence about my business and being true to my business, I don't think it would be where it is today. So my advice for starting out is be confident, be true to yourself, and be passionate about it.
Be true to yourself. Love it, Jessica. Thank you for sharing that. Super important. Once again, I love this advice. And for people who want to find out more about you, about your business, visit your website. Where can they go?
It is fantabulosity.com, and I'll spell it because it's kind of a long one. It's FANTABULOSITY.com. And you can check me out on the blog. You can reach out to all my social media icons there if you want to easily do it that way, or you can find me on Facebook at Fantabulosity blog. And then pretty much it's Fantabulosity on every other social media outlet out there. So you can find me on Pinterest too, my favorite social media. But you could always also email me at jessica@fantabulosity.com if you have any questions. I'm constantly receiving emails just with questions, and I love answering back to every one of them if I can. So feel free to reach out to me any way you can, and I will be happy to respond.
Awesome. Jessica, thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you so much for your insights, for experiences and tips. Thank you for being on the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It was the highlight of my day.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Extra Paycheck Podcast. As usual, I will be putting up show notes page at extrapodcast.com/47, where you will be able to find resources, links, and other things mentioned in today's episode. Also, head over to extrapodcast.com/iTunes in order to subscribe to the show, leave a rating and a review, which will help me tremendously. Thank you so much once again, and I'll talk to you next Monday.